To continue the conversation on the newspaper review this morning, we're joined by Yemi Adewusi, a public affairs analyst who joins us from Lagos State, Nigeria via Skype to discuss major issues on the pages of the paper. Good morning, Yemi Adewusi. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Good morning, Sarah, and thanks for having me.
All right, you're welcome to Newspaper Review. So let's delve into what we have quickly. Let's take a look at the story, this headline on The Punch, which is also on other pages of the paper, but I'll take it as it is on The Punch. It says, open grazing and spare part comparison, Malami under fire as Akeredolu South stakeholders lampoon AGF. Now, we are aware of the conversation and the ban on open grazing that the Southern governors resolved to last week, and it has generated a lot of talks. Now, just yesterday, the Attorney General of the Federation made a comparison with this ban in the southern part to the northerners banning spare parts. I'd like to have your reaction to this.
Okay, Sarah, you see me, just shaking my head while you're trying to recount what has happened. If you're ever looking for why this crisis remains very protracted, and if you're looking for why don't meet any headway, you're resolving the head and farmer issues, you have your answer, basically. For someone, the top echelon of the federal executive to come out and debate headers, the full headers, with spare parts that are actually unfortunate. It shows the kind of advice President is, and that we've not had any. No, let's come to think of it. Do spare parts sellers, they go about AK-47? Do they go out disrupting businesses? The Attorney General of the Federation not been truthful. And like I said, it's a shame that we're at this stage, that level. That's his own perception of what the issue is. But, what gives us hope? The fact that we've seen the reaction of the southern governors. So they're resolute. They're resolute, and it remains to be seen that follow through the report. Because the area does not goes beyond just the EDA crisis. This is the national security issue. One of the things that we don't understand is that the inflation, the food pricing, actually related to this. People are afraid into their plans. And over the last, we've seen inflations go up. So, we should just, we're not surprised, basically. But
Okay.
we're waiting for the enforcement. We're encouraged by the reaction to his speech by
Okay, so we're aware that when this particular resolution was made last week, the southern governors decided to have the meeting with the president of the country when he returns back from his trip to France. Now, we had report how he got back into the country yesterday. Now, we know that the southern governors are resolute. They are determined to ensure that this particular law stays. Do you really see a possibility of this ban standing the test of time?
Okay, I see a green light, and I see a light that is on. Two critical issues. First, we've seen that the association of the headers themselves, MAG, has come out to support the position of the southern government. You've seen some northern governments come out to also openly ban grazing. And this provides an opportunity for the government. We've had initiatives that have not seen the light of day, like something they call the rural livestock transformation, that did not see the light of the day. We tried to do gas, that is not on the day. But now the government has an opportunity to bring people together to actually do something and resolve this. The northern governments are in sync with this. The association of the traders, the cattle traders are in sync with this. So the president of the country should open his mind for alternative suggestions from what the Federation. So I say a light of the tunnel.
Okay, we hope to see how that plays out. Let's still talking about insecurity now. We recall that last week as well, there were talks how that the southern governors were not focusing on the main issue, which was causing insecurity challenges in the country. And just this morning, we have a report how the former head of state, Abdulsalami, has advised the federal government of Nigeria to divert funds which are meant for infrastructure to tackling insecurity. How well do you see this move helping in the fight against insecurity?
Okay, first and foremost, we agree the major responsibility for the government is the protection of life and property. Okay, but we have a budgeting process. And between me and you, all Nigerians know that the challenge we've had with security is that even though we have gallant soldiers, we have a gallant military, money budgeted has either been corruptly siphoned away from operation by either the NSA or by the top echelon of the military itself. So the problem is, with respect to the eminent he should address the issue. Give the military the equipment they need and they will finish this. Ensure that there is transparency in the budgeting and the administration process and in the procurement process. Now, one thing we are not looking at, it goes beyond just tackling the issue of security. There are associated issues. Okay? Boko Haram and the security issue we have is an ideology. There is a ticking time bomb we're ignoring, and that's the unemployed youth, the mammoth unemployment youth we have in the country. We can't fight wars forever if you don't provide programs to actually tackle the unemployment issues we have. Yeah, we're going to be issues. Now, if you resolve these issues and you don't provide some of the employment opportunities, structural programs actually by the teaming youth who are employed, then it's a short time before these guys are manipulated into joining banditry or terrorism. You saw a few weeks ago, I heard about Boko Haram of 20,000 to villages where they've dominated.
Yeah.
So we need to tackle the issue both still. Some of the infrastructural programs can actually provide employment. So we shouldn't be short-sighted. Tackle the issue holistically.
Okay, so it seems like there's a chain, there's a particular, there are particular steps or procedures that need to be taken on different levels to help fight insecurity. How well do you see restructuring helping out in this situation?
Well, my position on that is that our government, the politicians know what they need to do. We've just not had political will. We cannot go on like this. A restructuring is the right step, right? Because whether we want to keep it or not, we agree that even though we feel that we don't want to take us, but the union is unbalanced. And rather than sweep the issue structuring on the feet, the government should boldly search it and do to, to do it. And they start by taking concrete steps
Okay.
in terms of political restructuring. What is happening to the local? They are preparedly non-existent, very close to the people, yet so far from the people. Then you go to the federal. Personally, I have a radical. Why do we need to see? I've written about, I've discussed about. We cannot afford it. We behave like someone who is rich, but we're actually poor. Potentially, we're rich, but in terms of revenue, we're very poor.
Okay.
So our lifestyle must reflect that reality on ground. We need to cut costs, and we need to restructure.
Okay. I believe that restructuring, like you said, would help to, it would work in a way that things would be sorted out with regards to combating insecurity in the country. Many thanks, Yemi Adewusi, for joining us on the show this morning. We'll have to end the conversation here, but thank you so much for joining us on the review.
Thank you for having me.
Do have a beautiful day.